Something a bit different. I've just had a really nasty accident on my bike and completely smashed my helmet up, and I've started to really appreciate the whole Mips thing. So I thought this video would be a really interesting look at taking this helmet apart and seeing how the whole system works and talking you through what happened in my crash. You see, I've got this really vivid memory. You know, when you crash, everything goes in slow motion, and I can recall most of it. I'm still a bit concussed. It's about 5 days ago now, and I've just managed to have my first shave. I sort of cut my chin open a bit, but it's healing up quite well. This happened coming down like a slippery, rocky section. I could tell it was really slippery. I scrubbed a lot of speed. And at the bottom of this section is the tiniest little lip where you just have to lighten your front wheel just to get onto the main trail. And as I did that, it felt like complete sheet ice. My whole wheels went like this. I completely high-sided and landed with full force directly on my helmet. And as I did, like the helmet dug in to my face just here, really, really bad. And this felt like carpet burns almost. It was like severe heat build-up just above my eyebrows here. And then I felt this whole helmet shift forwards, almost to the point where the helmet was touching, this part was touching my nose and dug in here as I was coming to a stop. And then eventually came to my side, I scraped my chin, and at that point there I felt the whole helmet snap back into place. I sort of tumbled along, cut my knee open a bit, and dazed and confused, I sort of tried to get up, and I felt like the greyed image sort of came in. I remember like shaking my head to snap myself out of it, and then I was feeling dizzy for a few minutes, and then my friend Sally came along and gave me a poke, checked nothing was broken, and sort of adrenaline carried me through the last probably 5 minutes of the ride. I didn't really realise I had concussion probably until I started driving. And the very first thing I did was I got in the car and reversed straight into a wall. I really struggled to focus between going from the rear view mirror to the windscreen, and then I started to sort of slur my words a little bit. So I definitely had concussion for a few days. I did a video yesterday for our gym channel, and I watched it back yesterday and I hadn't realised how much that I was still slurring my words there. So concussion is definitely not fun. But looking at this helmet, we can see it had a big impact here, and this is all being compressed and scraped. And there's 2 big impacts here as well, which have all gone soft. I can push my thumb into these now, and these have gone really, really soft. The visor just came off and flew into a hedge somewhere. Inside looks really intact. This has got the Mips system that I was talking about, and it's sort of held in place with these 4 little rubber bungee type things. And I felt one of them actually snap. So I'm going to take this whole Mips thing off and show you how it all works. So this is a little section here that was, this was burning. As it was going into my head, I could feel it was like some like really, really intense heat build up just along here. Underneath here, what can we see? So I'm really quite impressed. I was expecting to see a crack or something really obvious open up, but there's no obvious signs at all. But I can definitely feel there's a weakness in the helmet from these 2 sections here. Now, these Smith helmets actually have this weird honeycomb section, which is meant to provide an extra level of protection. And even if I pull those bits out, I mean, when I first saw these, I thought this is a brilliant way of keeping flies and bugs out of your helmet, rather than any more protection. But yeah, so there's a little bit of damage, just, little bits of polystyrene sort of coming off in this area here. But other than that, it looks remarkably intact. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Yeah, I don't think that would have sustained another injury now that it's cracked, as simple as that. The reason that I brought this helmet was because my previous one to this, which I brought because it is in like the awesome Mapdec colours green, I smashed that in a skate park, and it was nowhere near as bad as the injury that I've just had. It was landed on my shoulder, my head was the second thing to hit the ground, but that almost smashed the helmet completely open. And it was probably about 5 or 6 years old, and that's when I started to go, ooh, that's probably failed because it's old. And I brought this helmet, this is only probably 8, I don't think it's even a year old yet, maybe 8 months. The helmet I brought at the same time for my road bike was this one. This one doesn't have Mips in it, and I retired this at the same time, realising this is actually 6 years old as well and probably should be retired. They don't really have an expiry date. They have recommendations that the suppliers say that you really shouldn't keep them beyond, but that depends on how much you've used it, how much it's been exposed to UV damage, contaminants from, wearing things, insect repellent on your face, that sort of thing, or sweat. And this one was looking pretty tired. So the experience of the previous one to this was like, do you know what, let's get a new one. And that introduced me to the whole new world of Smith helmets. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Smith. We don't sell Smith helmets here or anything. This is not paid promotion at all. This is just, I brought Smith helmets because at the time they made helmets in our colors and I liked them so much I brought new ones. So These are the helmets that I brought for me and Vic to replace them with. This is their new road bike helmet. And to be honest, I just like this again because it's got all this honeycomb, stop bugs flying in. And I love the fact that your sunglasses are also compatible and they just sort of stay together. And it's a really, really comfy helmet. And after my experiences of Smith, I just sort of kept with them. And I have to say, really like it. I'm not a fan of the black, I have to say. I wish I brought white because I think the white looks really, really cool. Anyway, so I've just brought myself a new helmet. This time I've gone for the slightly higher model with the Mips. This is the Smith Forefront. So this is the same model as the green one that I had, which broke, but at the time they didn't have this available. This is the Forefront. It's got a little bit more protection than this one around the back, and this visor is sort of held on with a metal bolt as opposed to just a plastic clip. It still has the same Mips features here on the inside. So yeah, I'm looking forward to riding this. This one's also really well vented as well. So even though it looks all closed, in actual experience of actually riding it, it actually really lovely and cool to ride. I'm always of the opinion that your helmet should either match your bike or your kit. So I couldn't get another one of these to match my Yeti. So I've gone for grey, which kind of matches the sort of the tyres. Because I was feeling sorry for myself, I treated myself to a new set of Smith sunglasses. Again, I kind of switched to Smith glasses probably before I switched to Smith helmets, just because I always kept losing my Oakleys and wanted something that was still pretty good but wasn't quite as expensive, and I've always been impressed by Smith optics, so kind of stuck with it. So I've treated myself to these. These are their new chromatic glasses, which are meant to change their opacity depending on the sort of the light level. So yeah, looking forward to that. And again, these all clip in and work with your helmet, so for me, that's really handy, especially when I'm filming outside. I like to take my glasses off when I speak to the camera, clip in there, or just to get them out of the way, and it's nice for storage as well. So yeah, I'll let you know how I get on with this. But if you like this sort of content, please let me know down in the comments. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you never want to see this sort of content ever again, it's all good. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.